What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. This time we're taking a look at Vampire's Kiss starring Nicolas Cage. Let's make this review as short and sweet as humanly possible. Overall thoughts on Vampire's Kiss? I thought this movie was absolutely fantastic. Vampire's Kiss will not go down as the greatest movie ever made. It won't even go down as a good movie, but it is going to go down as a hell of an entertaining movie. This movie is just completely batshit, no pun intended, insane. The overall premise of Vampire's Kiss is this. Nicolas Cage plays a guy named Peter Lowe, who is a literary agent who lives lives to the excess. He meets a random girl at a bar named Rachel, who happens to be a vampire. She bites him, and he slowly starts to go insane and starts to believe that he's turning into a vampire himself. So yeah, that is the overall premise of Vampire's Kiss. I'm going to do my best not to spoil a lot of this movie because I want people to watch this. If you've not seen Vampire's Kiss, you need to watch this movie. It is that good. You know, The Room by Tommy Wiseau's The Room is good in the sense that it's a movie that is just so bad it's good. This movie needs to be watched because it's just so crazy, yet so godforsaken entertaining. And a lot of that has to go with Nicolas Cage in the lead role as Peter Lowe. Nicolas Cage in this movie is awesome. Like, he is completely giving it his all. I mean, there's a lot of moments where he's just completely just over the top, goofy, theatrical, but goddamn it, the man commits. And in this movie, he is committed, and he's so much fun to see. But at the same time, what I don't really think gets enough credit is that Nicolas Cage does a really good job at playing his character's descent into madness and into crazy land, and he does it fairly well. You know, he gives Peter Lowe a lot of these, a lot of these awkward, just unsettling mannerisms. And if you read on this movie, Nicolas Cage was taking a lot of inspiration from the actor Max Schreck, who played Count Orlok in the silent film Nosferatu. And you can see that in this movie. I mean, while Max Schreck was doing a performance in a silent movie where you have to do over-exaggerated body language in order to tell the story, when you watch in this movie, it's played for laughs because it shows a man's deteriorating health, but it's Nicolas Cage, and he does everything to the excess. So what should be played for subtleties is being looked at as being completely outrageous, and it's a hell of a lot of fun to see. Nick Cage is this is a starring vehicle for Nick Cage, and he completely just owns the role. I thought he was great in this movie as Peter Lowe. He's fantastic. He's not sympathetic. He's a very unlikable guy. But at the same time, you kind of feel sorry that he's losing his mind, because underneath the surface of his assholery, there is a nice guy and there is a decent guy just waiting to be let out, but he can't. And now that he thinks he's turning into a vampire, even his poor therapist can't help him. That's how much his mind is being lost, especially when you get to the end of the movie. And I'm not even going to spoil what happens at the end of the movie, but the end of the movie is just Peter Lowe just full-blown in La La Land, where he doesn't even know what's real or what's fake anymore. And like I said, Nicolas Cage's performance from the beginning all the way up to those last, final 50 minutes is absolutely just, it's beautiful to see. It's very, very beautiful to see. The supporting cast around Nicolas Cage, I all thought did decent jobs. Elizabeth Ashley, who plays his therapist, I thought she was fine in the role. Peter is seeing this therapist because, he's just feeling he's the top executive at a literary agency. His love life is all over the place. Like I said, he's a typical 80s yuppie, using excesses to fill an empty void in himself. So he's feeling insecurities. And I thought the scenes he has with the therapist are actually pretty cool. Are actually pretty good. And as the movie progresses, they go into full-blown La La Land, especially when Peter Lowe just starts singing the ABCs because a agent of his can't find a certain file. Watch it. It's a hilarious scene. You have Kelsey Lemons, who plays Jackie in this movie. Kelsey Lemons, she has the distinction of being in a lot of cult films throughout her career, and she has a nice appearance in this movie where she plays one of the girlfriends of Peter Lowe. Actually, it was while Peter was with the girl Jackie, is where he sees a bat crashes into his house. And this is what sets up a chain of events for him to meet Rachel. played by Jennifer Beals. Rachel is the vampire that bites Peter, and this is what slowly drives him into La La Land. And Rachel and Jennifer Beals did a really good job of playing Rachel as this seductress. You know, since Peter's been bitten by her, he hallucinates her. He thinks that he sees her everywhere, and Jennifer Beals, she's a good-looking woman. Back in her youth, I mean, she plays the temptress really, really well. I ain't gonna lie. Then you have Maria Conchita Alonso, who plays Alba, who is the agent that Peter constantly tortures at work while looking for this file that she just can't find anywhere. You know, that subplot, gets drawn out, and that subplot merges in with the ending of the movie. And I thought Maria Conchita was actually really good as Alba. I like how she played her as timid and meek, and you see how Peter's mental health and constant bullying of her affects her as well. Like, to the point where she, says, I have a gun in my purse and I'm not afraid to use it, sort of thing. It's played for dark laughs, and it is, but there are certain moments where it gets where it can get too extreme. Like, there's this one scene where Peter has her cornered, and he pretty much, sexually assaults her in a way. But they also have these off-the-wall scenes where Peter is giving her the speech about how her job is the bottom of the totem pole, and while he's doing this, Nicolas Cage performance, watch Nick Cage in this scene. His eyes and his mannerisms start to slowly just get bigger, 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 and bigger, to the point where his eyes start bugging out like a cartoon character. It's hilarious. In a scene before that, he's calling for Alba. She refuses to come. He leaves his office, jumps on a desk, and is like, there you are. It's completely just ridiculous. It's a lot of fun. Well, yeah, the cast in this movie I thought was really good. The directing by Robert Biderman I thought was pretty solid. Like, the first 30 minutes is really well directed in terms of creating a suspense and an atmosphere. And then once Peter gets bitten by Rachel and he starts to go into La La Land, that's where this movie turns into a full-blown just dark comedy of just epic awesomeness, where it's completely kabuki and off the wall, to the point where Peter goes to a toy store and buys fake vampire teeth. And he's chasing pigeons in the park. He's running down New York screaming, I'm a vampire, I'm a vampire. Oh my God, this movie's great. It's so good. It's better than The Room. It's better than The Room. I'd watch this over The Room any day of the week. And I love The Room because The Room is just so stupid. But I like this movie because it's actually trying to be a movie. But it just goes too off the wall for you to take it seriously. Even though everyone in this movie is playing it totally straight. It's just the overall performances that are just awesome. Oh man, yeah. There's a lot more to talk about with Vampire's Kiss, but listen, those are just my overall thoughts on the film. I like it. I thought it was great, which is why I'm gonna give this movie a solid. What do I want to give this movie? I don't know how to grade Vampire's Kiss. What do I give Vampire's Kiss? What grade? What's the final grade to give this movie that is completely ridiculous? Let's see if I can find flaws. Well, yeah, the first 20 to 30 minutes, they do tend to be a little slow. Even though the first 10 minutes is where the back crashes in. The movie doesn't really start to lose its mind until you get to the 30, 40 minute mark. You know what? I'm just gonna give this movie a solid 9 out of 10. Yeah, 9 out of 10 for Vampire's Kiss. The movie is just off the wall crazy, but it's a hell of a lot of fun. So yeah, 9 out of 10 for Vampire's Kiss. Let me know your thoughts in the comment sections down below. I know I didn't like overly talk about this movie and give so much away, because I think it's only fair for those to watch this movie, if you've never seen it, to experience it yourself, because the movie deserves it. 9 out of 10 for Vampire's Kiss. Check you guys back next time for more.